Hey, what's up, Street Talks? Eric from the Eric from Street Talk blog. So I wanted to share with you this idea that I had for a while, and the idea is intermittent living. So we all know the notion of intermittent fasting, where for certain periods of time you don't eat food, like you don't eat breakfast, you don't eat lunch, and you just restrict your feeding period to a certain period of time, whether it be 4 to 5 hours or whatever it may be. So I've been doing pretty religious intermittent fasting for the last maybe like 2 years, and I've found it to be the best thing for my personal productivity, for my own body aesthetics. I'm more focused, I'm less tired, I have more energy, and I'm more self-confident. And I think it's also interesting too because I think for my whole life I've been always trying to search for this ideal lifestyle, like the perfect lifestyle where I'm maximally happy, I'm maximally inspired, motivated, blah, blah. And I think, obviously there's no perfect answer, but I think so far my answer has been the notion of intermittent living. So what I mean by that is this. It's a combination of living nomadically and also a combination of traveling and also a combination of living in one spot for a while. And there's a lot of different notions that are around right now, like digital nomad, location independent, world traveler, etc. And I think the reason why I wanted to bring this notion of intermittent living forward, because I feel like there's not a concept which ties all these notions together, is that I don't think the point of life is to just be on the road for the rest of your life. I mean, there might be certain periods of time where you might want to live in one place for like a year or two, or maybe just live in one place or city or for 1 month. Or you might want to keep traveling, like stay a week or two here. Or, you might want to be settled for longer periods of time, for like a decade. I don't know, whatever it is. But, one of the questions that a lot of people ask us, because essentially the last 3 years, ever since we got married, Cindy and I have been on the road. And for the most part, we've personally loved it. I mean, there's a lot less certainty in life and less comfort. But as a consequence, I'm more vigorous, I'm more motivated, I'm more inspired, and I have more energy. And I know for myself, when I spend too long of a period of time spending in one spot, I tend to lose motivation and energy and vigor and inspiration and motivation. And so generally, I think living nomadically or living intermittently, just kind of shaking things up a bit. It's almost like you have a glass with a bunch of atoms, and by shaking and agitating it a bit, all these atoms kind of collide and hit each other, and some sort of dynamic energy is formed as a consequence. So I'm the same way, as whenever we're traveling or living, abroad or whatever it may be, I learn new languages, I learn new people, and all these things which collide, this kind of sparks my creativity, and it's been really beneficial to me. And at the same time, spending longer periods of time in one spot has also been beneficial too. So, for example, we've been here in Little Saigon in Southern California, just staying at Cindy's mom's house, and it's been really good because there's like a gym across the street. I've been able to do squats, deadlifts, dumbbell press, and I was able to increase all of my 1 rep max lifts by quite a lot. And that's something that's not possible if I'm just always on the road. Or even another benefit is when we were living abroad in Vietnam, we lived in Hanoi for about 8 months. And that was really nice because I was able to really put down my roots, build more friendships, and actually get to really know the language. And you also start to discover your favorite restaurants, your favorite places to be. And so I don't think the point is to just kind of be a tumbleweed for the rest of your life. There are certain periods you want to be settled and rooted, but other times where it's good to unroot in order to spur this creative energy a little bit forward. And obviously there's no magical formula, but I would just kind of encourage, and obviously this is not necessarily going to work for you, but it might. If you're the type of person that you want more adventure and daringness in your life, I would just recommend there's just practical things. You don't have to be self-employed. I think being self-employed is probably the best in terms of having the maximum amount of optionality in your life. But you could be be an expat. You could ask your company to send you off to a different country for a year or two, do different stints. You could work at your job right now, save up a bunch of money and then live in like Vietnam or Thailand for about a year or two just on your savings. You could do odd jobs. You could be an Uber driver. You could pick up random jobs while traveling. You could work at a hotel, or you could work as a tour agent, airline attendant, work on a cruise, whatever it may be. There's so many different ways you could kind of hack the system. And obviously it's just discovering what best works for you, what best works for your temperament. And there's all these other variables, like, some of us have kids, some of us are married, some of us are single. Like, I'm not telling you to live your life like how I live my life, but what I'm just trying to encourage is that there are different modes of us to live our lives. And I think our lives are short and uncertain. I think it's good to be a little bit self-centered and a little bit selfish in terms of trying to craft the ideal or a more ideal lifestyle for us in order for us to creatively flourish and for us to creatively thrive. And so for me, intermittent living has been beneficial to me. So, moving forward, I think for myself, people always ask, "Oh, Eric, when are you going to settle down and whatever?" And, I think even when me and Cindy, we have kids or whatever, I'm not going to, like, people are, "Oh, you want to settle down, buy a house, and your kid go to school." I'm like, I grew up always on the road. Like, even growing up as a kid, I never stayed at school for more than 1 or 2 years. And it actually ended up benefiting me. I learned to make friends really quickly. I learned to be adaptable. And so whatever mode of living you want to live, kind of ignore what other people say. Just, create your own ideal lifestyle for yourself and kind of pave your own path. And I think, obviously we're probably going to spend some time living in certain places for longer periods of time and other places for a shorter period of time. But I think what I don't plan on doing is like buying a house somewhere and living there for the rest of my life until I die. I think that's the only certainty I have, is that we're not going to be settled in one spot for the rest of our lives. But there's probably going to be certain stints where we're going to want to live in a certain country for longer periods of time, certain place for less periods of time. And so far, I think all of us, don't be scared to move. Don't be afraid to take a new job offer somewhere else. If you're feeling stagnant, bored, or you want to kind of experience something else in life or live somewhere else or travel, just kind of go for it. I mean, you're not going to die. There's really no downside. I think in life, there's only upside. So think intermittent living, intermittent fasting, intermittent anything, I think generally tends to be a good thing. Avoid trying to seek super permanence or super stability in anything in life. And also generally too much comfort, I think, is a bad thing. Having a little bit of discomfort is a good way to shake things up and to help spur the creative juices within us. So anyways, I'm just going to share this life journey as I can, while I can, because who knows, maybe my opinion will change a few years from now. You never know. But hopefully as I continue to create these different life experiments and life experiences, I can share them with you. And I'd also encourage you to share your own personal thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Or I actually encourage you to start your own YouTube channel. I mean, if you already have a Google account or a YouTube account, you already have your own channel, just start uploading videos. Put your camera on a tripod, record some videos. You could use the selfie mode on your iPhone, record videos, and just kind of have fun with it and just share your experiences. Your experiences aren't right or wrong. They're just personal to you. Be authentic, try not to fake or front. And yeah, hopefully we can all continue to prosper and thrive together. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace out.